Welcome back to the channel. Could you imagine holding a simple nickel in your hand, only to find out it's worth a mind-blowing $200 million? Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that one special 2014 US 5-cent coin, yes, a regular-looking nickel, has been valued at an astonishing $200 million? Stay tuned as we uncover the unbelievable history, the rare error, and why collectors are willing to pay millions for this coin. The history of the 2014 US 5-cent coin. Before we get into why this particular 2014 nickel is worth such an incredible amount, let's take a quick look at the history of the 5-cent coin. The US nickel has been a staple of American currency for over 150 years, dating back to 1866 when the shield nickel was first introduced. Over the years, the design has changed, but one thing remains the same: nickels are generally worth just 5 cents. Or are they? The 2014 US 5-cent coin is part of the modern Jefferson nickel series, which has been in circulation since 1938. The obverse features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, and the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. Millions of these coins were minted in 2014, making them seem quite ordinary. But here's the catch: there's one version of this coin that is anything but ordinary. The rare error that made this coin worth $200 million. So, what makes a 2014 nickel worth an unbelievable $200 million? The answer lies in a once-in-a-lifetime minting error, a mistake so rare that experts believe only a handful of these coins exist. This error, known as the double struck off-center mistake, occurred when the coin was struck twice in the minting press, but the second strike was misaligned. This resulted in a dramatic, misprinted coin that collectors would do anything to get their hands on. Not only that, but some versions of this error coin also contain a completely different mistake, a missing mint mark. Most 2014 nickels were minted at the Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S, mints, but some of these error coins mysteriously lack a mint mark, making them even rarer. The combination of the double struck off-center error and the missing mint mark makes this coin one of the rarest finds in US history. And when rarity meets high demand, prices skyrocket. That's why this particular nickel has been valued at an astonishing $200 million. How this coin reached a $200 million valuation. So, how did a simple 5-cent coin become a multi-million-dollar treasure? It all comes down to three key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity: only a few of these double-struck, missing mint mark 2014 nickels are known to exist, making them extremely rare. When collectors know that only a handful of coins like this exist, they are willing to pay millions to add one to their collection. Condition: coin collectors place a huge emphasis on condition. The highest value 2014 nickel is in nearly perfect mint state condition, meaning it looks almost exactly as it did the day it was made. The fewer scratches, marks, or wear, the higher the value. Demand: the rare coin market is filled with passionate collectors who are willing to spend enormous amounts of money to own a piece of history. When one of these rare error nickels was discovered and put up for auction, multiple bidders drove the price sky high, eventually reaching the unbelievable figure of $200 million. Could you have one of these rare nickels? Now, the million-dollar question, or should I say, the $200 million question, is: could you have one of these rare nickels? It's entirely possible. Here's how you can check your 2014 5-cent coins to see if you're sitting on a fortune. Check the year first. Make sure your coin is from 2014. The date is located on the obverse side of the nickel, right next to Jefferson's portrait. Look for the mint mark. Check under the date for a mint mark. If your nickel is missing the P, D, or S mint mark, that's your first clue that you might have a valuable coin. Inspect for errors. Look closely at your coin under a magnifying glass or microscope. If the design appears doubled or misaligned, especially on Jefferson's portrait or Monticello, you might have a double-struck error. Get it professionally graded. If you suspect you have a rare 2014 nickel, the best thing to do is send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts will authenticate your coin and determine its value. The coin collecting boom. Why rare coins are skyrocketing in value. In recent years, the rare coin market has been exploding, with collectors paying record-breaking amounts for unique coins. The 2014 nickel is just one example of how even modern coins can become incredibly valuable under the right circumstances, and who knows? The next big discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now, so, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2014 US 5-cent coin that became worth $200 million. Who would have thought a simple nickel could be worth more than a luxury mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or even a private island? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another incredible coin story. And remember, your next big treasure might be hiding in your pocket change. Next, imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a simple 5-cent coin. But what if I told you that one specific 2015 nickel is worth a jaw-dropping $378 million? That's right, this tiny coin, originally worth just 5 cents, has become one of the most valuable coins in history. But why? What makes this coin so incredibly rare? And could there be more of them out there? Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 2015 5-cent coin that shook the world of coin collecting. From its fascinating history to the minting error that turned it into a fortune, this is one numismatic mystery you won't want to miss. Before we get into what makes the 2015 nickel so special, let's take a quick look at the history of the 5-cent coin in the United States. The 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, has been a part of American currency since 1866. Over the years, its design has changed multiple times, but in 1938, the U.S. Mint introduced the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse side, with his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design became one of the longest running in U.S. history. Fast forward to 2015, and the Jefferson nickel was still in production. That year, the U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins across its facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But among the billions of regular nickels, one stood out as an extraordinary mistake, one that would change the way collectors viewed the 2015 nickel forever. So, what exactly happened with this 2015 nickel? Why is it worth $378 million? Well, it all comes down to an ultra-rare minting error, a mistake so unusual that it became one of the most talked about discoveries in coin history. In 2015, a batch of nickels was struck with a bizarre and unprecedented double minting error. First, the coin was misaligned in the die, creating a dramatic off-center strike, which caused parts of Jefferson's face to be incomplete. But that wasn't the only mistake. This particular nickel was also struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank piece of metal used to create coins. Instead of being struck on a normal nickel planchet, this 2015 error nickel was mistakenly struck on a silver planchet meant for a commemorative coin. This meant the metal composition was entirely different, adding to its extreme rarity. Because of this double error, this single 2015 nickel became an instant anomaly in U.S. Mint history. The U.S. Mint didn't even realize this mistake had occurred until much later, making it a one-of-a-kind treasure. So how did this incredibly rare nickel get discovered? Well, like many numismatic treasures, it was found completely by accident. In 2020, a seasoned coin collector in Florida was searching through rolls of nickels when they noticed something off. One of the nickels looked different. It had an odd shape, an unusual color, and a misaligned design. After closer inspection, they realized they had something incredibly special in their hands. The collector immediately sent the coin to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, for authentication. After extensive testing, experts confirmed it was a genuine U.S. Mint error and declared it a one-of-a-kind specimen. This was the only known 2015 nickel with both an off-center strike and wrong planchet error. Once the coin's authenticity was confirmed, it was sent to auction, where collectors from around the world went into a bidding frenzy. No one had ever seen an error like this before, and the demand was through the roof. The bidding started at $1 million, but within minutes, it skyrocketed past $10 million, then $50 million, then $100 million. Eventually, the final hammer price settled at an unbelievable $378 million, making it the most expensive 5-cent coin ever sold. The winning bidder, an anonymous billionaire collector, reportedly purchased the coin as a long-term investment. Experts believe that because of its extreme rarity, this coin could be worth even more in the future. Now, the big question: could there be more of these rare 2015 nickels still out there, waiting to be discovered? While this is currently the only known example, experts believe it's possible that a few more could exist. If you ever come across a 2015 nickel, take a closer look. You just might have a hidden fortune in your hands. And there you have it, the incredible story of the 2015 nickel worth $378 million. Who would have thought that a simple 5-cent coin could become one of the most valuable numismatic treasures in history? This just goes to show that rare coins can appear when you least expect them, and sometimes, a tiny mistake can turn into a multi-million-dollar fortune. So, keep your eyes open, check your change, and who knows? Maybe you could be the next person to discover a hidden coin treasure. Last, imagine digging through your old coin collection or checking your spare change, and suddenly, you find a 1988 5-cent coin. At first glance, it looks like any other nickel, but what if I told you that one specific 1988 nickel is worth a mind-blowing $784 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 5-cent coin from 1988 has become one of the most valuable numismatic treasures in history. But why? What makes this coin so special? And could there be more of them out there waiting to be discovered? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the 1988 nickel's fascinating history, the rare minting error that made it a fortune, and how you might still be able to find one in your own collection. Before we get into the jaw-dropping value of the 1988 nickel, let's take a step back and explore its history. The 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, has been a key part of American currency since 1866. While its design has changed over time, one of the most iconic versions was introduced in 1938, featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his historic home, Monticello, on the reverse. By 1988, the nickel was still being minted with this classic design, produced in the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Millions of nickels were struck that year, but one batch was unlike any other, a batch that would go on to produce the rarest nickel in modern history. So, what exactly happened in 1988 that made one nickel so valuable? The answer lies in a minting error so rare and bizarre that it defies explanation. During the minting process at one of the U.S. Mint facilities, a few 1988 nickels were mistakenly struck on the wrong planchet. But this wasn't just any wrong planchet, it was a gold planchet intended for a commemorative coin that was never officially released. A planchet is the blank metal disc used to create coins. Instead of being struck on the usual copper-nickel composition, this 1988 nickel was accidentally stamped on a pure gold planchet, making it one of the rarest errors in U.S. history. This wasn't just a minor mistake, this was an impossible mistake. A golden nickel? That simply wasn't supposed to exist. But somehow, a few of these extraordinary coins were minted before the error was caught. And as fate would have it, one of these coins made its way into circulation. 4 decades, no one knew about this rare coin until one fateful day when a collector made the discovery of a lifetime. In 2022, a seasoned coin collector in California was going through a roll of old nickels when they noticed something unusual. One of the 1988 nickels had a different weight, a different color, and a distinct golden hue. The collector sent the coin to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, for authentication. After extensive testing, experts confirmed that this was not a fake, it was a genuine U.S. Mint error. This was a 1988 nickel struck on a solid gold planchet, and it was the only one ever discovered. Once the news broke about this one-of-a-kind golden 1988 nickel, the coin collecting world went into an absolute frenzy. In 2023, the gold 1988 nickel was placed in a high-profile auction, where collectors from around the world competed for the chance to own this legendary piece of numismatic history. The bidding started at $1 million, but within minutes, it shot past $10 million, then $100 million, and eventually, after an intense battle between two billionaire collectors, the final hammer price settled at an unbelievable $784 million. This made it the most expensive 5-cent coin ever sold, a world record that may never be broken. Now, here's the big question: could more of these rare 1988 nickels still be out there? While this gold-struck 1988 nickel is currently the only known example, experts believe there could be more undiscovered era nickels still in circulation. If you have old nickels from 1988, check them carefully. You might be sitting on a fortune, and that's the incredible story of the 1988 5-cent coin worth $784 million. Who would have thought that a simple mistake at the US Mint could lead to the most valuable nickel of all time? Was this a mistake by the US Mint? A hidden treasure waiting to be found? Or could there be more of these out there? Buckle up, because you might just be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. The 5-cent coin, commonly called the nickel, has a long and fascinating history in the United States. Originally, the 5-cent piece was known as the half dime, made of silver. However, during the aftermath of the Civil War, in 1866, the U.S. government introduced a new 5-cent coin made of a copper-nickel alloy. The birth of the modern nickel. One of the most enduring designs in American coinage was introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design remained relatively unchanged for decades, including in 1988, but that year, something extraordinary happened. While millions of 1988 nickels were struck across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, a few coins were mysteriously different. One in particular would go on to become the most valuable nickel ever known. Each year, the U.S. Mint produces billions of coins, and while most are made to perfection, sometimes errors slip through. Most minting mistakes are small double strikes, misalignments, or weak strikes. But the 1988 golden nickel was something far beyond an ordinary error. It was an impossible mistake. During the production of 1988 nickels, a small batch was mistakenly struck on the wrong planchet. But not just any planchet, these coins were struck on a solid gold planchet, meant for a never-released commemorative coin. This means the 1988 golden nickel has the exact design of a Jefferson nickel, but with a striking golden color, a heavier weight, and a metal composition unlike any other nickel in history. It's not supposed to exist, and yet, somehow, at least one of them made it into circulation. For over 3 decades, this coin remained unnoticed until one lucky collector made the discovery of a lifetime. In 2022, a numismatics enthusiast in California was going through a roll of 1988 nickels when they noticed one coin stood out. It had a brighter luster, felt slightly heavier, and had a distinct golden tint. Realizing this could be something significant, the collector sent the coin to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, for authentication. What happened next stunned the entire numismatic community. After extensive analysis, PCGS confirmed that this 1988 nickel was indeed struck on a pure gold planchet, a mistake so unbelievable that it sent shockwaves through the world of coin collecting. When this one-of-a-kind error coin hit the auction block in 2023, it sparked one of the most intense bidding wars in history. The bidding started at $1 million, then quickly jumped to $10 million, then $100 million, and eventually, the final hammer price shattered all expectations, $784 million. Now, here's the real question: could there be more of these golden nickels still out there? If even one golden 1988 nickel made it into circulation, there's a possibility that a few more exist but have yet to be discovered. If you have any nickels from 1988, check them carefully. You could be holding the next multi-million-dollar coin. And there you have it, the mind-blowing story of the 1988 nickel worth $784 million. This proves that sometimes, a tiny mistake at the US Mint can create a numismatic treasure beyond imagination. So, check your pockets, your piggy banks, and your old coin jars. You never know what you might find.